So because today is the day after D-Day, June 7th, 1944, this is a huge day here in Sainte-Mere-Eglise because of Liberation Day for them. Under Nazi control for 4 years, and the paratroopers came in early in the morning on June 6, 1944. They jumped into the town here. Eventually, they outpowered the Germans, and this was about 5 hours before D-Day invasion on Utah Beach. And so after that happened and the guys were jumping in, there was a complete shift where the Americans took over. So a day later, this town was actually liberated, and the liberation was the first town in France that was liberated by the Allies. So it's a very exciting place to be, especially the day after, 80 years ago. Look completely different, but remember, these people were under Nazi German control for 4 years. And so today, it's kind of exciting to celebrate freedom. So as we walk up to the church, I'm trying to talk about John Steele. John Steele was the paratrooper who came in that morning of June 6, 1944, and his parachute got hung up on the steeple. You can kind of see it depicted here, although it's actually on the other side in real life. They depict him on this side since it faces the town square. More people can see it. But he gets hung up on the steeple, and he goes to get his knife to cut himself out of his parachute and drops the knife. And by dropping the knife, he alerts the German soldier who's inside. Remember, this town is under occupation for the last 4 years, and he runs outside. Well, just as he's running outside, another paratrooper hits the church, and that paratrooper gets shot by that German soldier. But as the German soldier goes to turn to John Steele and shoot him, the man he shot, the American, pulls out a .45 and shoots and kills him. Thereby, John Steele doesn't get shot, and he pretends to play dead for the next couple hours while he watches other paratroopers fall into the town and alert the Germans here and are killed. He pretends to just be dead. He actually is found out to be alive. Other Germans will cut him down and take him as a prisoner of war. They will try to shoot him and hit him in the foot, but he survives. And he actually will end up taking the German that took him prisoner, who actually took that German prisoner when this town is overrun by Americans. We will go inside and show you some of the stained glass. There's paratrooper stained glass, which is awesome. There's like almost looks like Joan of Arc stained glass in there, and then Jesus stained glass. Very beautiful stained glass in there. Very beautiful church. So it was very cool to be inside there. A lot of people dress up here as the paratroopers that came in. The two groups of paratroopers that came in here were the 82nd and the 101st. The 82nd were the All-Americans. So you'll see two AAs on their shoulders, and then the 101st with the Screaming Eagles. So you'll see an eagle on their shoulders. That's who the Band of Brothers are. They're part of the 101st. So these are the two paratrooper groups that are going to come in the early morning of June 6, 1944. And they're going to get spread out and not quite get together. And we all know what happens. They will eventually find their way. You hear that sound? That's a cricket. So if you remember in The Longest Day, they had the crickets, and that's how these paratroopers are going to jump all over the place and not know where each other are. And these crickets are supposed to let you know that it's an ally, that it's a friend. So if they have a cricket, you have a cricket. You're supposed to have, I think if you cricket once, and then you respond with 2 crickets. In The Longest Day, they kind of show it being a problem because when you reload your gun, it makes the same kind of sound. So that kind of gets one guy. People parachuted into different parts of this town, and they would hit roofs, and they would hit backyards, and they would be on the outside, and they would hit the church. Like they would be all over the place. Like you probably ask, like, well, if they're parachuting, how can't they be more accurate, right? Like they're parachuting out, how can they? Because they're so heavy, and it's happening so fast, and it's nighttime, that they have all this gear on them, and they're parachuted out low, and they're going really fast. It's hard to really control what you're doing. They have a lot of stuff here to the Airborne because of what the Airborne did for the town. So they really embrace the idea of these parachutes landing all over the place. In this place, look, you can see the parachute on the tree here. Like, they just really embrace that idea that the parachutes just landed everywhere. So this is pretty cool to Eisenhower. General Dwight D. Eisenhower. I have been to his hometown, I've been to his boyhood home, I've been to his grave, and we have been to his Gettysburg farm, facing the church with the John Steele in the steeple. They have a statue of Eisenhower right here, and it says, "The eyes of the world are upon you." This is the message that Eisenhower puts out the day before D-Day. Those are the words from the message. On the channel, we love President Eisenhower. He preferred to be called General Eisenhower even after his presidency. And I'd love to see his statue here in France, celebrating what the Americans did for the French on D-Day.
I have full confidence in your courage, devotion to duty, and skill in battle. We will accept nothing less than full victory. Good luck, and let us all beseech the blessing of Almighty God upon this great and noble undertaking.